what a trip that was over the past week.
Oh, really now? Have a little bit of fun in Anthrocon?
Yeah, with the city overrun by fuzzies for the past weekend, yeah, I kind of was.
Huh.
So how did it start out? How did you get over there?
Okay, first off, it started off with a very, very long flight starting at 8 p.m. our time, and taking all the way from a 6.5-hour flight to Chicago, then to New Jersey, and then finally to my final destination. No pun intended, towards the movie. I want to say is this: how the hell do people in Pittsburgh live through that kind of heat? I almost died.
Yeah, meanwhile, it's like 90 degrees here.
It felt like 90 degrees down there because it was very, very humid. I mean, so many people. I'm like,
it's humid here now, too.
It's like, oh my god.
I don't know how you guys would handle the desert
away from
heat.
that weather.
No, it did not. They followed me everywhere. So basically, I was stuck in a room. I was in my room with 4 of the coolest friends in the fandom, 4 of my best friends in the fandom, and having probably the best weekend of my life.
Well, that's good to hear.
Did you get to shake paws with anyone interesting?
Probably almost every single YouTube furry I know and other fursuiter I know off the top of my head. And then probably like half of my pictures now are made of nothing from the big selfies and dance competition and videos and stuff.
Did you actually see Boozy Badger while you were over there?
Who?
Boozy Badger. He's the lawyer guy who became a furry.
Was not familiar. I don't even know what he looked like. So
yeah, apparently he was there walking around shaking hands with people.
Oh. I need to go check his Twitter feed again.
Yeah, so apparently I think now at this point there's like a mini furry lawyer community because I know Boozy Badger, Namook the polar bear one, then there's Puma Legal, and then there's me. So like basically if we actually started contacting with each other, we could have like a furry judicial council going on or something like that.
The Grand Furry Supreme Court.
The Grand Fui Shima.
Oh no.
The Furry Supreme Court is now in session.
Which is not as cute as the dog Supreme Court as Jon Stewart has made before.
Oh.
Or not Jon Stewart. What's
Colbert?
No. It's the other one, the other British dude.
Oh, John Oliver.
John Oliver, thank you.
Ah.
Yes, the dog Supreme Court was his idea. It was his shtick. But anyway, you anything else? Any interesting sights, Kari?
Nah. Besides walking around like city a bit, still playing Pokemon Go. Even that was much more enthralled with what's going on. Not really that much. So I will say is this: I will hopefully be returning next year.
Awesome.
Well, he failed one of his missions.
Which is?
Shut up.
He was supposed to find Tauros. He didn't find a Tauros.
He didn't find a Tauros.
No, the Tauros failed me because it didn't appear. So
I've got a Tauros if you want it.
So yeah, it wasn't a really good spawning area for those anyway.
Also, I got an 800 CP Pseudo-Wudo.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. How about that?
Thing was just right on my doorstep.
I've hatched like 6 of those.
But however, I did manage to catch a bunch of Wobbuffet, so I made up for that.
Oh, dear God almighty.
Oh, really? I already have Wobbuffet.
You and Yami told me to get a bunch of Wobbuffet. I did not fail my submission.
I do need a male one, though. I have the female
I
one.
do have a bunch of male Wobbuffet, so I'm good.
Well, in Monster Hunter speak, you failed the main quest, but you at least managed to escape doing the subquest.
Let's just say my Pokedex stands at 231 caught and 236 seen, because there's dicks around here who like to put regionals in the gyms, so they've appeared as seen on my Pokedex.
But no captures.
Yeah.
I will say this, I did get the best hotel in the entire city. I will admit it.
Lucky bastard.
That's nice.
I mean, there's like 2 beds, and I have to sleep on the floor because I didn't mind, but oh my god. Inflatable mattresses are not kind to me because the next day I woke up with a major shoulder and neck pain for like a few hours.
You probably didn't get a good mattress then. I've spent the night on an air mattress on my aunt's, and it was glorious.
I almost wanted to sleep in the chair because they had that in like a footrest, so
Yeah.
I wish I could sleep.
I've done that too before, but honestly, between the two events, the air mattress was much more. It depends on the kind of air mattress, though.
Yeah, I've had to sleep on an air mattress when I had like a whole bunch of family in my house.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was hell. It just
You need to get the right kind of air mattress, guys. There's an air mattress I think at the Sam's. It's like $40, but it's basically like a double decker.
If I could, I'd probably just haul my Tempur-Pedic with me. Because I think it's actually pretty fucking lightweight.
You probably could.
This is why we need capsule technology.
Oh, if we had capsule technology, everyone would just be moved. It would not be embarrassed to move. Got a grand piano? I'll just put it in the capsule.
I'm pretty sure moving businesses would be out of business.
Yes, they would. They would have to pack their bags.
Anyway, hello
All right.
everyone. We are the Legend Hunters.
and Akari only used 7 of his allotted minutes.
Good enough for me.
We told him he could only go 10 minutes max.
There you go.
I can go on forever if I wanted to, but then
No, you're not.
Settle down.
No, if I wanted to explain my entire story, it'd probably be an entire different podcast altogether.
Settle down, chillin'. Settle down. All right. But yes, the Legend Hunters are back. This is season 4 now, Zero?
Yeah, this is officially episode 2 of season 4. We took a week off because shenanigans.
Well, an extra week off just to recover and so we could get settled in.
Yeah, because we did like a podcast one week after the next, so that was not a good plan.
Well, we did two
But
back
it was E3, so...
back, and one of them was at midnight.
Yeah.
Or might as well have been.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's fine.
So that was your week, Akari, pretty much, huh?
Yeah, other than that, besides seeing Spider-Man and getting back into gaming as of late, so that's pretty much it.
Alright then. Moosey, your week.
Well, I spent at least half the week over at my work experience for at least most of the day.
oh, where are you working now?
They have me over, it's called Forget-Me-Not Books. It's actually run by the Literacy Council here. That's how they raise funds, is they have the bookstore.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we have something similar to that called the Bookmark here in town.
Isn't that right near Lloyd's Bar?
It's behind where the where the Leslie's is. It's behind the Leslie's.
Oh!
Across from where the post office is.
Oh, why the hell would I not know that? My dad worked at the fucking post office.
I don't know because you don't go out as often.
Yes, I'm a fucking recluse. We've established that.
Just for the record.
Although, I'm still not as big a recluse as the guy sitting in between the two of us.
Oh, I would heartily disagree with that, sir.
Oh, really?
I would heartily disagree with that, but we'll save that for another story. Muzi, please continue.
Yeah, so I will spend, well, at least this week, I spent, the days when I was there, I would face the store, and then they would send me to the back to clean children's books.
It's not a bad job.
Next week, I move up to adult books.
Oh, dear God.
Phrasing,
You're not
Moosey,
going
phrasing.
where I think you're going.
I get to clean adult books next week. Woohoo!
I think
Sure, convert all
as long as you wash your
conversations.
hands after every book you've handled, you wouldn't want to
And so
cross-contaminate
now it's
them.
Be sure to use
Well,
bleach when you get
this
to
also
the
includes
E.L.
like regular
James section.
books, like mystery books, etc.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But
In other words, kind of books my mother would read.
yeah, pretty much anything that would go in the adult section, like the regular section of the store. I'll be cleaning those and figuring out which ones actually work for the store and which ones go in the recycled books bin, because what they do with the books they can't sell that are still good is they put them into this one area. The books get sent out to the villages, the prison, all these other places where they can't really get the books very easy, or they can't really afford to get a bunch of books. So,
Right, I get you.
Okay.
and then Thursday, we went and saw Spider-Man.
Yes.
It was Thursday.
So how was
That
it?
was-
Tuesday.
So how
That
was
was
it?
the best Spider-Man movie that I have ever seen.
Better,
I agree with that.
better than the original.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Now you have me. Now you have piqued my
We're
interest.
not
Which
rehashing the origin story.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, the Sam
We're
Sam
going
Raimi
with-
Spider-Man.
A totally different view on on Peter's life,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't over focus on Aunt May.
I was gonna say, because that was my biggest complaint about that movie, is that
She's there and she does have a part to play, but she's not like a big plot line.
I was going more for the fact that Aunt May looks incredibly young, and Spider-Man just progressively gets younger and younger.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, he's supposed to be a university student, granted, but
Actually, he is a high school student. in
right
this.
now they're going for the high school angle, which I'm pretty sure a majority of the new generation of superheroes are in that category, specifically Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Miss Marvel, Captain
Iron
Marvel.
Man's a fucking teenager in the comics?
She's also female and black, I believe.
Wait, who?
Yeah, oh yeah, remember
Iron
that.
Man.
Or
But
yes,
yeah, at least in this one, it makes sense to have a slightly younger Aunt May. Since
okay,
he is in high school.
okay, I'll give you that. But it's
Yeah.
just like
Like,
like in an alternate universe, the fan fiction would be terrible. Let me put it that way, and I'll just leave it there.
The fanfiction part is terrible,
Yeah, but more so than it
But
would be
anyway.
now.
but it was just so much fun. And they don't go with like the stereotypical like Green Goblin for the villain for the movie.
Yes, I was kind of impressed that they decided to go with Vulture of all people for this one.
And
And
they
he
got
did really good as Vulture too.
I've noticed that a lot of
That's the thing with
Spider-Man's
the
villains
Vulture
are just animal names.
Yeah, because it keeps focus.
Because he's Spider-Man.
Like there's Scorpion,
Yes.
Vulture.
Yes,
The Rhino.
the Rhino,
Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octopus.
But
the lizard.
they actually give him a backstory
I thought the Vulture did
instead
have a
of just
backstory.
throwing him in there.
Well, technically, fun fact, I've heard that basically the story for the Vulture in this movie is kind of similar to one of the Green Goblin stories.
Oh, so they basically Control-C, Control-V it?
Kind of, yeah.
No, find or replace, find or replace.
Kind of copy-paste. Am I right, Moosey?
we
Because
didn't
we're
really
not
see
talking
that.
we're not talking some rich dude
Okay.
that can buy whatever he wants. We're talking some blue collar guy who has to find another way to support his family.
Ah. Okay.
And I
So,
won't
in other
ruin
words,
how
illegal
because it's
smuggler.
in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well
But
then.
if we explained any more about his motivation, it would ruin
Spoilers.
it. So.
I will say this about the movie really quick is one of the things we never saw or barely saw in the other films is his struggle between balancing high school and him being Spider-Man. We never really see that and the consequences it had, but that's what this movie did perfectly. And
And frankly,
I felt
it's the best ending to a Spider-Man movie ever, and we're not going to say why.
All
Because
right.
you
I will
have
say
to
this.
see it.
All
I
right.
will say this: Tom Holland is, in my opinion, is probably the best film Spider-Man ever. This
Yeah, he's my favorite film one now.
me too.
Alright.
He's definitely the best one by far.
Okay then.
Well, I will have to validate that. I might.
Same here.
All right.
I've actually already kind of partially made plans to go see it with Romo next week because he didn't get to go with us. So
Nice.
Oh, at least you got a good date night then.
yes,
All right.
and I get to get my hair done. So it's like yes.
Alrighty then.
Glorious.
Which one of the original three should go next?
I didn't have much of a week.
Alright.
Busy working for the most part. Running.
But is that going good though?
Yeah, I mean it's going well. I'm running some stuff for the Ravenlofts Essence, which, to be honest, we've been trying to go ahead and get a sit down for them, but we just have not had the time. And to be quite frank, we've been working on a lot of podcast shenanigans that we've been needing to go through. So we'll see after this next session if we can actually get that recorded.
Mhm.
But if not, that might be something else we would have to do separately.
I'm actually wondering if we should just, like, record a session
That would be awesome.
We could ask them for permission.
Oh.
The main problem that I would see is just, it's a lack of visual acuity.
Well, doesn't Takahata have like a audio version, or is he doing like?
I'm not entirely.
The other
aware.
thing we could do is call out our actions. Like if we roll, we could say, "I roll this."
Well, yeah, we could make those clarifications, but it was more of just like as a
visual
standpoint, it would not be as compelling. Is what I'm saying. We would have to go into a little bit more detail on describing
it
actions.
would actually kind of be like an audio drama for the people who are
It
listening.
could be, but we would have to because we would have to just adjust the way we speak about it.
I remember One Con Bravo. This was back when Spoonie was still actually relevant.
Oh yeah, that particular one.
Yeah, that Con Bravo where they had like a whole D&D set.
Yeah, they did an entire D&D session. Yeah.
However, they did camera it.
Yeah, they did camera it, and although it was basically just a view of the table.
Yeah, no, it was just like the view of of everyone and the audience.
Yeah.
There was like they didn't show like anything on the board or anything. It was just vocal.
I know, but I mean, we would just have to account for that. Would be the only major thing.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is that remember we also have a new player who's supposed to be coming in.
True.
He's barely getting adjusted to the system, let alone having to act for the camera would not be something I'm not sure he would adjust to with.
I'd say if we ever got like a smaller group.
If it was just us, we could do that.
Yeah, if it was just like the three of us, maybe the four.
We would have. Otherwise, we would have to. I think that could be useful for another time.
Okay.
Anyway, since you hijacked my week.
Sorry.
Not much. Just doing stuff for Ravenloft. I went to go see a baseball game on Friday with my family, and Zero completely missed out on the opportunity to actually see me there because he was being a recluse.
Well, I had a reason, and I'll get to it when it comes to my week.
Right. But you could have gone anyway, because all you had to do was park your bum in a chair, open a cold one, and enjoy.
I would have just pulled out my 3DS and been playing that.
Again, pull out a cold one and enjoy.
But you'd have been playing it with people.
Although you did meet my dad at the baseball game.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So again, you could have joined me, but no.
If I had known you were going to be there,
Had I had known you would have been there. So it's a failure on both of our parts. How about that?
Alrighty then.
Okay. Other than that, these two chuckleheads have also gotten me into Monster Hunter.
Yee!
Yes.
One of us.
One of us.
It's a good thing that I have a constant need for employment and therefore cannot devote my entire time to the addiction.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, if I screw up one more time, I'm fired. So.
Yeah, but you're only working 2-3 days out of the week. I'm working 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
And congrats to that.
Thank
Though
you.
it also does mean that I can't exactly bring my DS to work anymore.
Oh, I can't bring my DS. Period. So there you go.
So we're
So
both in that same boat.
Oh, that's not surprising for me.
Okay.
That's not surprising for me, considering what I do. But anyway, that's generally what I've been up to. The only other thing of note that I've seen, and I'm going to cover this because I don't think anyone else has, is I've been watching Let's Play after Let's Play of Crash Bandicoot Insane Edition.
Oh,
or the Insane
I'm
Trilogy.
definitely gonna get that.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get that once I have access to a PS4. Boy, howdy, are people forgetting how it works.
I was watching Jacksepticeye play the third one.
I never really played it, with the originals.
Well, the originals are pretty cool. I actually went back through them on one of my time off and went through 2 and 3 for a bit. But apparently, people are describing the new or the Insane Trilogy as Dark Souls levels of difficulty.
Get good, scrubs.
Well,
Have you played the game?
No.
Then
No.
shut up.
No.
Oh yeah, I played them.
Suck.
Yes.
oh, don't worry. Once I get my copy, I'll be bringing it here, and we will be experiencing the pain together.
We're not Let's Playing it.
We could very easily Let's Play that.
We could. I'd rather pull my teeth out with a rusty wrench.
Get the wrench.
I was about to
Good,
say we can play
Zero.
we can play Bayo 2 on Triple Climax.
Get the wrench.
Anyway, that's my week. Legend, I'm passing the baton to you.
Why do I get the baton?
Because
pass?
I'm saving my horror story for last.
You're saving your horror story for
Yeah,
last? Alright, well, I have been out of the house a couple of times. I've been out on little outings here and there.
Shock.
Shock.
I
Well, it's
can't.
kind of difficult to go out all that much because out in the daytime, you literally could fry an egg on the sidewalk.
I've done that as a kid.
Ironically, that's how it feels like here right now. And
It
so we're not
actually
used to
is that here.
Oh no.
We literally can fry things on surfaces sitting in the sun.
And
Oh
when
yeah, some
Legend,
areas here are actually getting that.
yeah, and by the way, when Legend says the word literally,
I mean it in the most literal way possible. Your green thumbs are actually glowing. It has nothing to do with your gardening potential, shall we say.
yeah.
Anyway,
Also, if you try to walk out onto like the asphalt in the middle of the summer, you will actually burn the soles off your feet and be unable to walk.
I've done
Oh,
that
trust
once.
me, I lived in Mississippi for 8
Sucks.
years. I'm quite familiar with stepping on asphalt in the summer.
And I've been in California, so yeah.
Mhm.
Well, try that with a few degrees ramped higher. The blistering will happen a lot faster.
It ain't that good.
Yeah.
Anywho, I have continued my struggle to modify my Skyrim.
Without frying your computer.
With limited success in that regard.
Is your laptop starting to smoke?
No, but it has gotten to rather high temperatures to the point where I do need to cool it off with actual ice packs.
How old is the laptop?
It is 11 to 12 years old.
In short,
It's not old enough to smoke.
It's not old enough to smoke,
No,
but it is still
not.
free.
It's old enough to be to qualify for juvenile detention, or to get out of juvenile detention.
Although in computer years, it's old enough for AARP, so...
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I wish I had
It's on
something-
life support now.
Funny you should mention that because I can't actually unplug it from the wall. If I do, it dies. So it's that kind of
Meaning
laptop.
the battery itself is dead.
Yes.
The battery itself is gone. There is nothing left there. The only thing keeping it alive is having it connected to a wall.
Did you get out of Riften yet?
I did, in fact, get out of Riften. One of the fun things that I've discovered is that when you're running a lot of mods, you're running a lot of scripts. When you're running a lot of scripts, it takes more information to be rendered, and lots of stuff has to happen all at once. And
And when
this
you-
stresses the machine.
Especially when you have a bunch of NPCs doing their normal routines.
Good lord, there are at least 5 to 6 different quests, 5 to 6 different NPCs, 5 to 6 quests per NPC.
Trees
and
to be rendered.
Trees to be rendered, water, goddamn water. Water!
But
Water!
But are they
Fuck!
happy little trees?
The trees are actually the least problem. My problem is the NPCs and the water. Water has multiple layers and textures to it. So,
And not to mention physics engines being run through it.
and physics engines for anything that happens to be swimming in there, because there's also fish. God, there's fish. Not counting the sounds or the inputs that you put down onto the freaking machine. I have had moments where a simple click of a button would stop me and basically force the computer to do a soft reset in order to re-render the image before I entered another input and did the exact same thing.
By the
Press
way, I'm
X,
not at all
freeze.
sorry for
Press
this.
A,
That's
freeze.
a lot of fish.
What's that?
I'm not at all sorry for this. That's a lot of fish.
You're not at all sorry for this, that's a lot of fish.
Yeah.
We're really referencing the Godzilla movie now?
Yes.
Oh, God. Well, I do have a lot of fun with the mods. Just off the top of my head, a few of the ones that I have. Number one, animation I cannot talk. I replaced I replaced the animations for magicians so they don't run around like jackass creepers with their hands up and prancing like little ponies through the fields of Skyrim. I have a slightly more masculine version, thank you very much.
So they don't have the pervert hands?
Yeah, they don't have pervy hands and just doing the creeper.
The thriller hands.
Yes. And don't even get me started about what happens if you run. That shit used to piss me off as original Skyrim player. Because even if you put a sword in the other hand, you would still run like a jackass. Male or female. You would run like a jackass. There was no getting away from it. Hurrah for mods. One of my other favorites, I Need, because there's all this food lying around and it does nothing. So, there's that.
And also, damn it, Legend, you're making me want to put in Skyrim right now.
He is putting in Skyrim right now.
Anything else aside from Skyrim shenanigans?
Aside from Skyrim shenanigans, we did actually get you into Monster Hunter.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm. I haven't actually done too much time on my own because, I'll be honest, if I play my character for too long and for you, things get real very quickly.
Real in what way?
As in,
Shit goes down.
I've been able to take down Apex monsters on my own, and those require whole teams, whole coordinated teams to do it.
In short, Legend's fucking overpowered.
I have some sets and weapons that are, in fact, highly overpowered, to the point where I actually had to put the game down and question my life choices for a little while before picking it up again.
Have you checked the actual activity log on your 3DS for how many hours you put into that game?
Oh, easily over 900.
I think you have a problem.
And that's only going to get worse when Monster Hunter World comes out.
Assuming I get it, yeah.
It's for the PS4.
I
You're
know.
getting it.
No, especially because it's for the PS4. I might not get it.
Why?
Because I am a poor boy, nobody loves me.
He's just a poor boy, nobody loves him.
What
Spare him his
happened?
life from this monstrosity.
You
What
are
happened? What happened to Christmas again now?
I don't know how long that's going to last.
Anyway, anything else of note?
I'm thinking, yes, one last thing. And this is probably going to be the weirdest non-video game related thing that I have on my agendas. And that is, we have a bit of a problem at our place.
Oh, you're going to talk about that now.
Just a little bit.
All right.
I won't get into the whole drama of it, but I'll get into one of my weirder moments. And I think you can already tell a little bit of what's coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, Muzi. So, I'm getting ready to go to work. It's early in the morning. Sun hasn't really risen yet, and I'm getting ready to go. So, I've gotten a tip off from the folks. I should probably check my radiator, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be hot, and my radiator seems to be leaking antifreeze. So, don't want to boil up in the middle of the Trans Mountain.
Yeah, that's actually happened to me.
And it's happened to me too, so very important I check this out. So I get to the car and I open the hood.
Kitty butt.
And there's a pair of eyes staring at me from within. I almost slammed the hood. Very much so, yes. Except it wasn't a snake, it was a cat. There was a cat. A cat in my car's hood. On the engine I was getting ready to start that morning.
That cat, if you had just turned that on, that cat would have been
Crushed and killed, and I would have gone to hell. I would have willingly walked there.
That actually happens quite often, where cats will go into a car and people won't know they're there.
Yeah, it was sitting in an open spot on the left side of, well, not left side. It was on the passenger side of the engine, and it took one look at me. I kind of like went and almost closed the lid, but I kind of held on, and the cat left, jumped out, and ran as fast as it could towards the pine trees. But for me, I kind of had a little bit of a freak out. I was like, oh god, what if it's not just my car? So I started checking everyone else's vehicles for cats. And it's a good thing I did too. I didn't find more cats, but my dad, who is having the most trouble with these animals, not to the animal cruelty levels, mind you, he opened up the old white car that I used to drive.
The tank.
We call it the tank because it survived a crash with a school bus.
Yeah, you ran into that school bus, and I was driving past when that happened.
It was a fun day explaining what happened that day. For the record, that was my second day driving ever. I got better.
Well, better.
He says as... I'm
Did you turn into a
Shut up. Sorry, I'm just thinking.
Shut up.
Yeah, but the big question
shut up.
is, did you,
No,
did
shut
you
up.
look like a newt?
Anyway, there were 3 cats in there, and one of them almost jumped on my dad's face. So we got a little bit of a problem that we got to clear out there. Yeah, that's kind of the update with me. I have Skyrim and cat's asses.
What else is you with you,
So
Zero?
you've been playing with the Khajiit Newt mods on them.
Oh God.
Well, my week has been relatively boring until yesterday.
Oh, what happened yesterday?
Story.
Well, I ranted about this on Twitter already, but I'll go ahead and explain it here for people who haven't seen that. My stepdad trains and races horses, and we're breeding them too. We got a baby horse out there. You've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, recently we noticed a growth on one of his eyelids.
Oh no.
Yeah, we had no idea what that was. At first I thought it was like a clot of dirt on there, and so I tried to rub it off, but I couldn't get near him to do it. So my stepdad had to come from Albuquerque to check on it, and we thought it was some kind of growth that we could remove, but actually what we think is he tore his eyelash off,
Oh no.
and so it was just hanging. We did see a scar tissue around the eye, but we don't know what it is. Regardless, we had to put the baby into a little corner of a pen and barricade it with another fence so we could put a halter on him, tie him down, get an X-Acto knife,
Oh no.
and try to slice it off.
Oh.
That horse was jumping, bucking, tripping, falling, wrecking everything to avoid us from trying to cut it off. So there was blood everywhere because we would hit it, but we wouldn't get it completely through. And eventually we did manage to get it off. We were tending the wound, cleaning it, stuff like that. And that's when the horse decided to go buck crazy.
All the horses?
No, that horse decided to go completely crazy. Climbed onto the fence and was trying to get out.
Well,
He-
he is a baby. What do you
He
expect?
bent the fence.
Whoa, hang on. Are you talking that 3-inch pipe fence?
No, you know those white pens out there?
Yes.
There's an aluminum sheet, an aluminum fence that we used that's not as strong as those, but it's still pretty damn strong to kind of barricade him in. He was climbing over that aluminum one, bent it, and managed to climb over, somehow not breaking his legs in the process.
Well, good that you didn't break his legs, but holy crap.
I was panicking, freaking out, and by the end of it all, I had horse blood and cuts and bruises all over me.
Ay.
And yeah, so that's kind of why I wasn't wanting to go to the baseball game yesterday.
Yeah, that was at... You ranted about 10 o'clock in the morning? The
Yeah,
game was at 6.
yeah, and also that day I had to drive my mom to the airport.
Playing on my smallest violin for you.
Fuck you! I almost got bucked in the face.
But you're not. Live live while you has, for tomorrow we die.
Yeah, well after that, I just wanted to lay down and do jack shit for the rest of the day.
You could have laid down and do jack and shit.
Yeah.
You could have done it in a comfortable theater where you have a bunch of food waiting for you.
I did have a nice meal. I'm like, that evening.
Good.
Right.
All right.
But yeah, that's pretty much been my week. Not much else other than editing videos and finishing up recording Shovel Knight so we can start working on another project.
Excellent. All right,
Hey.
then. Let's get into the news.
Alrighty.
All right, fantastic. All right, first story. WTF moment. Doomfist debuts, but he is not voiced by Terry Crews.
Surprised.
Okay, so
So
Legend, you know about Overwatch, right?
you know that there's a massive following for Overwatch.
Of course.
And so at the beginning, there was this character called Doomfist who wields a weapon called the Doomfist.
Imagine that.
So everyone was excited for this character because he had a big lore implication in the world. And to the point that even Terry Crews was willing to offer his voice acting skills for this character. The Old Spice guy.
I know, and I'm just picturing
What could have been.
Yeah.
What could have been with an amazing bombastic voice actor. But instead, they went with a more ethnic-sounding character who probably represents a more serious side to the series.
All right.
So we did not get Doomfist as we wanted, or as we had all hoped, but certainly the character is now playable, who basically punches his way to freedom.
Yeah.
Basically, Captain Falcon.
His main weapon is a side gauntlet that shoots out lasers and a shotgun burst. However, his specials all involve him doing charge punches, Hadokens, and power slams.
The problem is all his moves are basically cooldown related, which means he is hackable by Sombra. Meaning, if Sombra hacks him, the only thing he can use is a shotgun,
Is a shotgun gauntlet.
which it does jack shit in terms of damage.
Sombra continues to troll.
Yes, unfortunately. So from that perspective, not as great as we thought. He seems to be a more offensively inclined version of Reinhardt, in terms of instead of being protect and guard, this is a much more offensive, control the field type of character.
Yeah, pretty much. Again, I checked to see what the new characters of Overwatch are, mainly because I'm wondering when the fuck are we getting a goddamn story to this game?
Well, there's been story throughout,
There has
but
been
you're not
story.
going to get a cohesive one.
Spink Tarsals.
He's actually not wrong.
I don't want to have to play the game to get all the lore.
Well, you don't have to play all the game. You can just watch the movies.
Yep.
That's basically what you can do.
Give me a fucking playlist already.
There are
There
several.
are several. Just make sure you don't get the ones that involve Mercy and Roadhog parodies.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. We're moving on.
Oh god.
All right. Nintendo asks fans to call Super Mario Odyssey's hack power capture, not possession.
Dear fans,
Well,
Mario
that's
is
kinda
not
hard to do,
Satan,
but it looks
so
like he's actually
please stop calling
jumping
it
into
that.
them.
What's that?
I think it's kind of hard to call it that when he's actually literally jumping into their bodies.
And they grow mustaches.
I actually saw a hilarious picture, I believe this was on the article, of Kirby wearing a Mario hat. And there was a side-by-side comparison of him with the Mario hat,
And
but one has the mustache, and it's actually functioning as a PSA.
Yes. So
Kirby swallowing Mario, or Mario's
Mario-
possessing Kirby. Know the difference.
Yes, exactly is what people are saying. But it's capture. So apparently Nintendo is that superstitious to wanting to avoid anything having to do with the devil.
I mean, there are already so many people who think video games are the devil. I don't think Nintendo needs bad publicity.
There
on
are
this.
still people who think that in this day and age.
yes.
Yes, there are.
I mean, it's kind of hard to believe considering that Candy Crush and things on the phone are so widespread that you think that would have died out.
Some people still just hate fucking technology.
I mean, I can believe that, but it's still a little bit hard to believe.
And I mean
Aw,
technology,
Mish.
not fucking technology. That's a completely different thing.
Yes, that is an entirely different field. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about this because it finally came out. The SNES Mini. Ooh,
I
boy.
want one.
Of
I
course,
want one of these so
everyone
bad.
is going to be chomping at the bit for one of these.
They already are. I'm pretty sure it's already sold
It's
out on
got
pre-order.
Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, it's gone. It's freaking
Oh,
gone.
you want to talk about Gone? They are bringing out an unreleased game to the U.S. Star
Yes.
Fox
2.
Oh
The long-awaited. It was funny. It was fully finished, but never got released.
Released.
Because they didn't think it would sell.
Yes, there were doubts about its popularity. However, they were going to be entirely mistaken.
This thing, there's only. By the way, it's already gone because there's only two consoles out for distribution.
It's not that. It's not that limited.
And this
It
is
might
the
as well
fact-
be given what the NES version was.
Oh, yeah, but
They
the
are
thing is
actually
with
going
this,
to be shipping twice as many. Actually, I think last I heard about 3 times as many of these to the U.S. in September when it comes out.
Well, 3 times
They
100 is
did
only
with the NES.
300.
Oh, hush you.
Oh,
They're gonna be
hush
sending
you!
a lot of these because they finally realized, wait, all of these people are clamoring for the, NES Classic. More people are going to clamor for this one. So,
Yes. Japan is usually overly conservative with their numbers. Hopefully this time they will actually do
I am going to be trying to find any way possible for me to get this thing.
If we can,
will do
I'd like to
everything in
get
my
it.
power to get one of these because this is my favorite console ever made.
I'd like to get it for 2 reasons. One, it's got a lot of my favorite games on there. 2, it's an HDMI version,
Meaning we could play it.
Yes.
meaning we could record anything from it.
Only problem some people have seen with it is the cords on the controllers are rather short.
Yeah, that's been the main complaint.
I heard they're like, 5 feet?
Yes.
But that's a minor issue compared to what we're getting in this thing.
Absolutely.
So,
And specifically, Super Mario RPG would be fantastic with this.
Yeah, we could let's play
can
that.
you imagine Let's Playing that?
Oh yeah, I would have. I hope they go ahead and they allow it on Nintendo.
Hasn't everyone and their grandmother let's play that game though?
Kind of, but
Actually, no.
the only one that I'm aware of is I think maybe Super Best Friends, but I haven't. That's it. I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the Runaway guys did it.
Chugga Conroy, Nintendo Capri Sun have both done it.
Okay.
I know at least 2 other people who have also done it. I think Masay and Nell has also done it.
Okay. But still, I mean, it's a very popular game. We might as well join the bandwagon, even if it is
Yes.
20 years too late.
Join in the retroness.
But yes, so you can go ahead and start stocking your SNES minis come September.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
All right.
I
What
just
is it?
realized that if I want one of these, I'm going to have to find a way to reserve it and pay it off and have somebody pick it up for me because I'll probably be in Maine at the release day.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to pre-order myself probably.
You might have to get that taken care of.
Either that or mug someone.
No, Zero.
Stop
Although this
encouraging
next
Grand
thing
Theft
ties
Auto.
into what I'm pre-ordering tomorrow.
All right. I'm gonna go over here and turn the podcast over to Muzi and Zero for this one because they have more input on this next story.
Whee!
As
I
of
read it.
the other day, we got more Splatoon 2 news.
Yep.
Yep, and I
So,
tried the demo yesterday myself.
well, let's explain that. First off, they showed off a whole bunch of stuff. Like the direct is done from this weird little
Research thing.
research thing. Like this announcer guy from like an '80s VHS research
It's
video.
like you're watching a nature documentary.
Here
One of
we
the
see
first
the
things
squid.
they covered, though, that I really loved is this time, you're not just picking your hair color and your eye color. You can pick, like, your style and...
You can choose between hair and pants now.
Here we see this
Yes.
Squidling floating about and avoiding his mortal nemesis, the Octoid. What are the other ones called?
Octoling.
Octolings.
No. It's more like, this garners further research.
So we're
These
not.
squids sure are fresh.
So we're not going full pompous British. We're going,
No,
We're going self-aware. I'm poking myself with my own humor stick.
Yes.
Yes.
You need to see this fucking direct.
And they've updated the shops, the gear. There's going to be even more of a selection for gear,
There's
more variety.
There's a shop area where you can buy food that'll boost either experience or money that you get from matches.
And the guy that lets you alter different features has more options to him now. It's not just rotating options on gear.
Yeah, so it's a bit more. It's less random generated and more. You can now
And
Customizable.
Yes.
they have changed the rank battles. You now get a rank for each of the versions. It's not just one rank.
Yeah, there's like 3 different ranked battle versions. There's Tower Control, there's Rainmaker, and then there's
And
King of
Splat Zones.
Splat Zone, aka King of the Hill. And originally all 3 were tied into one ranking.
Okay.
Now
So if
they're
you
all
screwed
separate.
up, your rank would just drop.
I don't know why that wasn't the case.
I don't know either, but we've also got new maps and new weapons. Even 2 new
League
weapons.
battle.
The GooTuber.
I'm sorry.
The GooTuber.
Could you repeat that one more time? I'm pretty sure I had. Did you just say that there's a weapon in Splatoon 2 called the GooTuber?
Yes, and it's a sniper rifle. That holds a charge when you go under the ink.
Phenomenal.
That's
There,
okay. There's also a weapon that's going to be added that looks a bit like an umbrella.
that has a shield. That the umbrella acts as a shield.
Okay,
It's
that's,
basically like a shotgun with with an umbrella shield.
so you have the penguin gun.
Yeah, and you can actually charge with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh.
And then they also
And-
have a bubble blower one that they're making, where bubbles just float around and then eventually burst.
Fantastic.
They've also added league battles. You
League
can form
battles.
teams with your friends and battle your way through, 4-on-4 battles against the other teams.
That's pretty cool.
And they've
A brand new multiplayer mode called Salmon Run that will only be active at designated times, kind of like a Splatfest.
And basically what you do is you fight against these enemies called salmonids to collect their eggs. And they have like different giant bosses, like
So
a steelhead that fires off bombs.
what is that mode in Halo where you just fight the Zerg, or not the Zerg?
The Flood.
The Flood.
The flood.
Because I'm pretty
That would be the campaign.
No, but there's specifically like a multiplayer one where it's like you do it in timed.
Oh, like you fight waves and
Yes,
waves
yes.
of stuff.
Did it
going
have
on?
a specific name for it? Because that's what I'm
It
thinking of.
did,
Horde?
but was that?
Is it a horde, right?
It was something like that, but
It was something contextual within within the Halo universe.
Okay, I definitely know after this recording I'm going to show you guys the direct because it's only like 20 minutes.
Okay.
And there's even more to the single player campaign this time. There's stuff for the amiibos yet again, and there's 2 amiibos coming out.
Of course, there are 2
Well, 3 technically. The new versions of the Inkling Girl boy and a new Squid version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the Squid version I don't think is going to be out launch day though, because I can't find it.
Yeah, but the Inkling
It
Girl.
exists.
But the Inkling
One
Girl.
of the other things that I'm going to pre-order, and I'm only pre-ordering this because Realmo said he's going to pick it up for me when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Splatoon 2 Pro Controller.
Really?
Ooh.
I have to wait for that one.
And it comes out game launch day.
Yep, they're gonna
Really?
get that.
Nice.
Oh god, I need to pick that up because I want to pick up a Pro Controller as well for this game.
I was about to say, this was, that was one of the things I was meaning to tell you is when that comes out, since you've been meaning to get yourself a Pro Controller, this is the opportune time to do it.
Yeah, well, I did just pre-order Splatoon 2 already, so I definitely have it ready in the waiting.
I am going to end up with a shit ton heavy bag the day this comes out because I have the game pre-ordered. I'm going to try to pre-order the Inkling Boy and Girl if I can. But I also have Bayonetta and Core coming out.
Oh yeah, those two amiibos.
Oh boy.
And if I pre-order the Pro Controller, the bag's gonna get heavy.
And let's see, they, aside from Salmon Run, they also announced that they released a new demo of Splatoon 2 because they're having a Splatfest before the game launches on the 15th. It's
Which
only
sucks
way.
'cause I might miss the Splatfest.
It's-
Because I might be out of the house.
I think it's around 5 our time, and it's only for 3 hours instead of the usual 24 hours for a Splatfest. But it's just another test launch. But this time it's cake versus ice cream.
Cake.
Why
Versus-
can't we be friends?
Yeah.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
I prefer cake.
Oh, boo.
Oh, so you're on Team
They've
Pearl
also
then?
learned from the first game,
Okay, so
and
let's
there's
talk.
going to be a year of content updates after it comes out, and 2 years of Splatfest.
Nice. So
Yeah.
there's at least 2 years known for support. That's good.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about the Splatoon Girls since those were mentioned? Because
I just did a Google image search.
why?
I forfeited my soul.
Why did you put yourself through that
Just
kind of
to see if my prediction was correct. Because when I saw that trailer, I could smell the fan art cooking. I could smell it.
So we've got a new group that's hosting the Splatfest and the announcements at the beginning of the games. They are known as Off the Hook
Which is the pairing of Octoling Marina.
and Inkling Pearl.
Let's reiterate that. Octoling. Not Inkling. Octoling.
Not an enemy this time.
Octoling. Holy crap. And I will also direct you to the expression on the poor Octoling's face. She knows that she's got some stuff to work out with her audience, shall we say.
If you go back and relook at the trailer, there's actually it looks like an Inkling in the back, like taking pictures of Marina from the back with his phone and then looking at it down.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That ass.
So here's
There's
what-
going to be
well,
pictures of that
let me-
ass.
let me explain a few things. First off,
In case you haven't seen the fan art already, by the way. which
First
is why I
off,
showed.
Marina has been pictured as this goddess, pretty much.
Well, because, again, she is a dark-skinned, strong female character, which apparently seems to be Kishiyama's trend in terms of approval projects.
Marina, Twintel, the fucking
Urbosa.
Urbosa.
And then there's a picture floating around of him, of those three, with him holding a Reese's a Hershey's bar, just like, yeah, I would like my women how I like my chocolate, black. Wait, that's not how the joke goes. Anyway,
Oh my gosh,
but yes,
Extra dark. Oh, good lord. I'm
now
sorry.
you're getting in on it.
Shut up.
Anyway,
extra thick.
Well, given Twintel.
Aku never died.
anyway, that's one character. What about Pearl?
Pearl is known as the little shit.
Really?
Yeah,
She's an angry little girl. I've actually gone into the area, and you can actually see them in the plaza area. And Marina will give a shy little wave. Pearl will look at you, give a snarl, and then go
so
like that.
You just did a sight gag for.
Yeah, she just flicks her hand.
she does the
basically.
yes queen thing.
Yes, queen.
Okay.
She's got a fucking crown, and I've just seen people like draw her as like this little gremlin.
She's
Do you
she's the second incarnation of the Diva Gremlin.
do you remember the movie Cats Don't Dance?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately,
Do you remember the Shirley Temple girl?
Fuck that girl.
No. You don't. You don't want to.
Rephrase, that character can be condemned to hell.
There we
Darla
go.
Dimple is her name.
Condemn that character. Condemn her.
I saw an artist draw Pearl.
Condemn the character.
I saw an artist draw Pearl as Darla Dimple, and it fucking fit.
Well, look at the haircut.
Yeah.
I never knew that the.
You can never unsee that now, right?
No.
You
no,
know?
I cannot.
I never thought I'd see the day that I saw the distaff counterpart to the Napoleon complex. I've seen it twice now. And I want a lobotomy.
I'll get the drill in hot water.
No.
All
I'll be
right.
a professional, not the backyard remedies. Thank you very much. It needs to all be out. You might miss a spot.
All right.
Oh my god.
Well, and on top of all that, they're also launching the online service with Splatoon 2 and an app where you can, essentially talk to your friends while you're battling.
Or you could get Discord.
Yeah, or you could get Discord, which
or
is
Skype. Or Skype if you're for your preferred reference.
Speaking of, by the way,
We've been using Discord for this, and we've had like 1 or 2 hiccups, but we always have a hiccup when we try to record, usually.
Actually, the last couple times when we were on Skype, it stayed stable the entire
Well,
recording.
well, I gotta say, this is probably the best we've ever heard you, Moosey, so if it keeps sounding this good, we're switching over whether you like it or not.
Anyway.
Well, at least for podcast purposes.
At least for podcast purposes, we can still
Let's
chat
talk
on Skype.
casually on Skype.
Okay. Let's move on to some more teasers. Starting with Platinum Games.
oh god,
Platinum Games is
Oh,
teasing
yes.
Bayonetta and the Wonderful 101 for Switch. Like, the actual,
I want them
like
both,
ports
because
or,
I never
or
got
new
a chance.
games?
I never got a chance to play Wonderful 101, and I wanted to.
It's implied to be ports because they show Bayo 1 art with the white and with the blue and red of the Switch controllers.
Okay.
And 101, the Wonderful One, I don't remember what the teaser for that one was.
Unite Platinum. By the way,
But it is somewhat. But they are teasing it as ports for the Switch, which is always fantastic news.
It's true. Speaking of Bayonetta, we do need to do a Let's Play of that one of these days, god damn it.
Well, we did the first one.
The best
second
part
one.
is
Yeah.
I can download these games once I have the funds on there because I went ahead and put in a big ass memory card
Nice.
Nice.
into my Switch.
That's always good. Here's a game that I'm really happy is going to be coming out soon. Gundam Versus is hitting stateside September 29th.
Isn't that like a Gundam game where you're pitting like
This
characters
is-
from all across the series?
It's not just a Gundam game. It's not just a Gundam Mugen game. It's a Gundam Mugen Versus game. Specifically, it's supposed to be like you're supposed to be. It is a one-on-one. It's a two. It's usually a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3 versus fight. And the way that it works is that the teams have a shared life bar of sorts. And every time a Gundam gets blown up, you have to fill in. You basically pay funds to come back into the game. And so the amount you pay depends on the Gundam that you choose. Weaker Gundams that aren't as powerful are easier to destroy but come back at a lesser cost. Stronger Gundams are naturally better at combat, but if you lose them, it takes a bigger chunk to come back in.
I see.
And so it's a matter of reducing the team's life bar funds to 0 in order to claim domination.
That sounds a lot like Monster Hunter's system, by the way.
Really?
hello Zero.
Sorry.
Essentially, when you take a dive,
with the declining funds.
right? you
Yeah,
get,
except that instead of you losing the same amount every time, if you're a novice hunter, you only lose a small chunk. Whereas if you're an advanced hunter, you could basically lose 3/4 of your reward.
ooh,
That's the risk and reward. But you are a better hunter, and therefore you have better equipment and gear.
Fair enough.
That is the balancing act.
so it's punishing you for slipping
It's punishing
up on your
you. It's
game.
punishing you for not knowing that you're a novice character or a novice player.
Or it's punishing you for being an advanced player and not being a professional about it.
and not performing well.
Interesting.
All right.
Okay, so
Oh,
This
boy.
one will ruffle some feathers. This one will ruffle my feathers.
I say I can see why they're doing it because somehow, some way, the expo needs to stay relevant.
Microsoft paid them out the ass is probably what happened.
yep.
So, Cuphead will not be coming to the PS4.
Of course, they needed some sort of exclusive.
It will remain.
However, though, you're still going to be able to get it on Steam.
It will be a PC Windows exclusive.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, PC Xbone exclusive.
For a while.
For a while, at least until it gets to Steam. But that
then
is
they're going to put out a Mac version and possibly a Linux version as well.
right. But that will take time, and that will probably not be the ideal for most people.
To be fair, the PS4 did this sort of thing first, if I'm not mistaken. I recall something.
Bloodborne.
Yes. They made Bloodborne
Specifically Bloodborne, because I know the Souls community hates the fact that Bloodborne is PS4 only.
Yes.
Because it means they can't mod the shit out of it.
Yes.
Have you seen some of the shenanigans that people get on the PC version of Dark Souls?
Yes, I have. It is amazing.
I saw Sunlight Blade's top 10 funniest encounters in Dark Souls 3, and there was a character who was modded to look super thin and gangly, almost looking like one of those Locust guys from and he had maxed out his speed and invincibility.
Oh.
And it was just moving around like freaky.
Starver has made a history of modding his game to allow multiple phantoms for stupid things like the bridge run.
Jesus.
Where you run the bridge connecting yourself to the profane capital, and everyone is on the edge trying to snipe you with great bows. And you basically get points by touching back and forth, and you are done once you get hit, or you're done once you get knocked off. So
that's phenomenal.
So there are some shenanigans that can be pulled, but exclusivity deals happen.
Mm-hmm. As for the game that we were supposed to be talking about, because once we get started on Souls, we go.
Cuphead is an awesome stylistic shooter platformer that involves 1920s cartoon characters shooting their way to get out of a contract with the devil.
I would actually say it's 1930s, but you're right in the ballpark.
1930s, because it has color.
Yeah.
Yes. And oh my gosh.
It reminded me of like a really old Popeye cartoon.
1930s,
People
exactly.
who played it have compared it to like a Dark Souls-ish hard 2D platform.
Unfortunately, Dark Souls is the only thing most people know. The correct comparison would be Toho. Because it bullet hell.
Yeah, pretty goddamn much.
It's Battle Kid, and it was designed correctly.
It's Toho if it wasn't made for perverts.
Or was designed to be exactly pixel fucking perfect.
Well, I've seen some of the battles in Cuphead. It looks like if you are supposed to take hits at certain points.
Actually, sidebar, speaking of Toho, I heard that someone actually made a computer virus that basically locked your computer until you beat a Toho game.
Oh no!
I've always thought of that like as a pipe dream. I've never known actually someone to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you bastard.
You sadistic bastard.
No, you had to do it in one go, too.
Oh no!
Really?
I'd say screw my computer. I'll get a new computer.
I need a new computer. Bring it on!
All right.
Next on our list is, Detroit. The Becoming Human game promises backtracking feature in the branching paths and to be 3 times bigger than Heavy Rain.
This is the first time I've ever heard backtracking used as a selling point.
I'm hoping that they can come through with this because I really do like the looks of this game. And I really want to see them come through with this because you could be talking to somebody about the game and how you're playing through it, and they may not even know what you're talking about because they went a totally different way.
I'm curious to see about how this works because I think that is one of the flaws in these types of adventure games because of the fact that you can easily lock yourself out of an encounter because to use the choose your adventure example, we go back and we don't stick with the decisions we made. We go back to the last page we went to and we don't like the outcome.
I do agree with that. And with stuff like Dark Souls, they've made a lot of... Dark Souls, Undertale, a lot of these games have decided on the idea of making decisions have permanent consequences for the game. And I always had problems with that sort of thing in Mass Effect games. Or Dragon Age games.
See, with this one, what he wants to be able to do, though, is to offer more than just, you want to be good or bad, or do you want to just shoot everybody, or not shoot anyone at all. You know, he wants to mix the consequences of your decisions.
Which I can be behind, because I do like exploring all my options and having the freedom to do so.
Now, I will put a caveat. I would like to go ahead and put a caveat on my own review. I think the backtracking is a good idea. I don't necessarily think the fact that it would be 3 times bigger than Heavy Rain is a selling point, because fucking Shadow the Hedgehog has over 100 different endings.
Yes, but you gotta remember that's Shadow the Hedgehog.
It's not 100 different endings. It's like
There's 100 different ways to get to that ending.
No,
Pretty much.
Well, no, it's 100 different paths to take that are separate endings, canonically speaking.
there's like 16 canonical endings and 1 extra true ending after you've gotten all the other fucking endings.
Yeah, but every path is considered its own ending, even if you end up at the same spot. So it's like
It's like the Star Fox game.
Yeah, it's like it is a. We are not talking about that Star Fox game. I have too many bad complaints about that fucking Star Fox game. We are not talking about that Star Fox game. But we are! I'm sorry, Muzzy?
The one with the dinosaurs?
No, the
DS
Assault.
one.
Assault. No,
No, Assault was good.
Assault was good. Command, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
the,
Command,
the,
no.
the,
I like the one
the,
with
the,
the dinosaurs.
the one where Fox ends up as a cuck. And I actually mean that term.
Yeah. Star Fox Command is a DS game that had like a billion crack bad endings, and it's giving Leo.
PTSD?
I picked up a manual for Command while it was still existing, and I went through the back to read the path endings like a twat. It made no fucking sense.
I recall there was one ending.
There were more endings positive for Slippy the Toad than there were for the main character.
And nobody wants Slim.
And yes, there is the one ending where Falco and Fox say, "Fuck the Federation. We're gonna go be racers."
I was thinking of the ending where Crystal actually ends up with
The Team Wolf?
Yeah, she goes ahead and she
becomes a bad guy.
She mounts what's his name, Rosso's
Okay,
air wing.
after the fan art I've seen, don't add her and Mount in the same sentence.
I'm pretty sure Crystal fan art counts about at least 15 to 20% of the furry community's artwork.
25. I'm going to go say 25%. 25% Crystal, 25% Renamon, and then miscellaneous Pokemon and all that jazz.
The other 25%'s Lucario.
Okay. We can discuss demographics later on another point. Let's move on. Okay. Fire Emblem brings in new characters, specifically Lisa wielding an axe and Robin as a black mage.
I can actually be behind Lisa wielding an axe.
But it's also been causing some classic fans to lament.
And
they can
how
suck
so?
it up.
Hector! Where the fuck is Hector?
Here's the thing.
About Hector.
Here's the thing. For this game, let me say it, we're only getting Awakening and Fates characters.
Fuck that! Hector! I want Hector in a fighting game!
Don't give a damn about Hector.
Hector is a badass!
You are not
No
getting
one
it.
cares.
Yes, you know what? I will wait for the game to come out. I will go ahead and find someone to mod in Hector. And that
There
will
you
take
go.
care of that.
I don't even...
If they can mod in Sonic, and I mean Sonic as in the bad cartoon character Sonic, into Smash Brothers, I'm pretty sure someone can go ahead and put their talents to good use.
Has anybody even hacked the Switch yet?
I'm pretty sure there is, and they are keeping that secret quiet, or they're being paid by Nintendo.
Legend,
One of the two.
Has your cousin hacked the Switch yet?
He hasn't specifically, so far as I know.
So far as
But-
you know...
But it could also be that the crack teams are still working on it.
Or they're being paid. Because remember, Nintendo said they would pay up to $25,000 if they found any defects on the Switch.
Right.
So they're actually paying the guys who break into their shit all the time.
Right.
Well,
so
Legend, your cousin just found an easy paycheck.
it's not an easy paycheck, and I don't think he has developed the skills to do so on his own, but he will if he keeps at it. And
Okay.
I'm looking forward to see what he does.
He will once the next Pokemon game for the Switch comes out. I guarantee it.
All right. This next story is a bit more interesting, just because of what it involves.
Scott Cawthorn claims no FNAF 6 due to health and family concerns, and of course, speculation rises as a result.
Well, let me go.
Blood pressure probably can't take it anymore.
Well, to be fair, Scott Cawthon has always been a very humble sort of fellow. I've always seen him as a sort of... He's a humanistic game developer.
Half human, half troll.
He does have his trolling tendencies, but he is a man who lives in the modern age with an internet where trolling is considered not just a thing that you
It's
do,
an art form.
but an art form.
It's
There's
a craft.
Yes, and he is among one of the best in the series, which is why
People are so speculative.
Which is why people are so speculative. On the one hand, I could very easily see Scott Cawthon being quite concerned with personal health, family, whatnot, considering that personal health was actually what spawned Five Nights at Freddy's to begin with. When Chipper and Sons was hit with the worst reviews, one of his old games, by the way, he actually fell into deep depression. And he climbed out of it by making something that took those criticisms, amplified what they said was wrong, to the point that it changed genre into horror, and we got the series. So it was health that did spawn the FNAF franchise. And I could see that it could be the same reason for ending the franchise. And I could see that he could want a way out. So I'll respect that. But on the other hand, this is the same man. This is the same man who once released his old crappy game with a Freddy Fazbear head stuck onto the original character and called it hard mode for Sister Location. And it was basically a campfire survival game where you do nothing. He is a master of trolling, and he can actually generate a lot of hype. So I can see both being true options, and we have only time to tell.
He also is working on a VR release, so if you ever watch anybody on YouTube that does VR games and plays this game, that's gonna be hilarious.
Oh,
God,
my
but the guy's probably up in your face. Let's look at the movie in the works.
Oh yeah, the movie.
Yeah, there's also a movie in the works. And
And I also got the new book.
oh yeah, and he writes. I have a lot of respect for the man.
As a fan, I don't. If he did no more games, that'd be fine. If he did as a book series, I actually could get invested in that.
He may as well just go ahead and do that, because a lot of people, I haven't read them, but from what I've heard from a lot of people, they're actually really good books.
They are very
And if he
good.
keeps up with, the lore that he's already set into the books, he could actually expand that and have more fun.
Exactly. I haven't read the new one yet, but I gotta finish the first one before I start anything. So
for now,
the whole images with the website, his website is basically just hyping up for the video, the new book. That's all it was.
And the movie.
In the movie.
I am really hoping that the FNAF franchise can actually crack that wall that has been pervading video game movies since the dawn of time. And that is to say, is there such a thing as a good video game movie that won't be critically panned? We have yet to see.
I mean, if you want my opinion on that little fact, I think the most one of that is probably the first Mortal Kombat movie.
First Mortal Kombat
Yeah, but
movie wasn't
that's
too
so
bad.
much cheese that it's like...
Well, I would kind of like the first Mortal Kombat movie just for kind of lulls.
Well, it's not bad. It's just you have to be in the mood for that kind of cheese to watch it.
There's the fact it did, even though with some minor changes to this actual lore of Mortal Kombat, it actually did pretty faithful to what it could do.
That's one of those movies that I would really love to see the Rift Tracks guys get a hold of.
No, I was gonna riff the second one.
I want to see them riff them both.
I mean, the first one, awesome, cheesy but awesome. Second one, fuck off.
Cheesy, questionable.
Well,
It was fermented past the point where it was blue cheese and it became a health hazard.
speaking of blue stuff, Sega.
Ah, Sega. Why are you perpetually forced to suffer?
They announced
they're
something
idiots.
called Sega Forever, which is basically classic Sega games on mobile
For free.
for free.
Okay.
Why?
But here's the problem. It
It's-
implements like shit.
Ooh.
Crappy ports.
What
Really?
else is new?
And I can attest to that.
You tried one out, Akari?
I tried Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, all I got was, there's a free version, but you have to play with ads. $2.99 for the ad-free version. Fuck off.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There's ads throughout the... Oh my god.
Yep. So I saw that. I'm like, nope, delete. Bye-bye.
Sega, do you want to fail?
I don't think they had a choice in this one. It feels like they had to rush it to meet a deadline. Though I don't know what deadline they were rushing to meet.
Indeed, that is the
Here
question.
do I. I don't think a lot of fans
To
did.
suck or not to suck? That is the question.
We all know the answer.
It
You
is.
either do or you don't.
Yeah. And in this case, they did.
I wish they didn't. I do like Sega. They're showing some surprisingly good game. Well, let me put it this way: they've always thought of their fans first, and that's kind of also been their biggest
I'm
problem.
sorry, I can't totally get behind that because these are the same people who decided to split their good Sonic team and create two games at the same time, and both sucked.
Fair enough. Though I will note that the expanded universe and character roster was kind of a way to appease what a lot of fans wanted from different sides.
Yeah.
So they wanted to try and appease the fans, but ended up
Creating something that would later be known as OC the character.
Indeed.
Original character, do not steal.
OC character, do not steal, please.
No, it's original the character.
original the character.
do not steal.
Yeah.
Original.
That would certainly be original at that point.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh man. So
Okay.
And speaking of companies that suck, Konami.
actually, this isn't Konami.
Technically,
No,
it
it's
is. It's
not.
Castlevania.
Yes, but it's not.
Well, it had nothing
It's
to do
not
with
them
it.
running it.
You sure?
Yes.
Yeah. all
That's
they
why
did
it's
was give
good.
license. So, for those who don't know, the Castlevania Netflix series dropped yesterday.
And thankfully, Konami has no head.
And-
That, and I will say is this anime was really good. And this is coming from a lifelong Castlevania fan. It's all it is based on is Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. And we actually get backstory and really bloody animation, unintended, with this anime.
There are a few things that I would like to add in that will be interesting to note. Number one is that this is not anime. But it is anime style, which is also surprising considering that I believe it was the Fairly Odd Parents team that was behind the animation.
Really?
Seriously?
Yes. And I will also note that unlike the Fairly Odd Parents, this thing does not hold back its punches when it comes to the gore.
This is like Game of Thrones level styles of blood and gore.
That's what they aimed for, and they certainly achieved.
I think it might even put one past the Game of Thrones team, because I didn't see Game of Thrones people making fences out of human guts.
Well, we never know. I think there was some scenes like that.
Maybe there were, maybe I haven't seen the entire series. But still, I had to go, holy shit! They're not holding back on this when I saw the fence.
No, see, there's one thing tied to this that makes me squee, and I'll get to that after he finishes.
After who finishes?
After Luke, after Kari finishes his sentence.
Alright, go for it.
I would say, is this... I mean, with Castlevania 3, we never got much story in the video game itself. Like, oh, just go kill Dracula. But with this, we actually get not only sympathy towards our leads and everything, we also get sympathy towards our main villain, which I will not, reveal because of spoilers. But other than that, I will say is there is a much bigger asshole villain in this series.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fact that we get two sets of villains in this series. We got Dracula on one side and the church, which I'm not going to go into detail, but they got, I would say, and I also like the fact that they got Trevor Belmont as the main character.
Good lord.
Everyone knows like Simon or Richter mostly, and Trevor, I like his attitude being a sarcastic asshole.
He is an asshole, and I would say that he's not so much... I find it hard to call him sarcastic, but I do very, very much agree that he is jaded, and that he is absolutely one of those characters who has run out of fucks.
Yeah, basically.
He has none left to give.
And
This
just
would
the
actually
fact
be...
that we do see... It's a little slow at first, but when it gets to like episode 3, that's where it starts to pick up really good. And episode 4, wow.
I really did like the action sequences. I will say that they're not as fast-paced, but it feels like every action is a delivery one. Like, it's hard to describe, but the animation when it decides to go into a fight, and I will cite the Cyclops for this, the choreography is awesome.
Very much so.
Good lord. Geeking out here for a moment. What he does with a short sword and a whip is nothing short of beautiful in terms of how freaking awesome it is.
And
So,
was it
I really need to get
as we
Netflix
see
on.
in the preview trailer for this, not only do we get Trevor, we get Sypha the Magician, and later on, almost everyone's favorite character, Alucard, the son of Dracula. And I will say the fight at the end with him was probably one of the best fights I've seen put to animation.
I'm pretty sure a lot of pants were creamed when Alucard fucking teleported.
Oh, hell yeah. Alucard is a freaking... I mean, everyone obviously knows him from, like, Symphony of the Night and everything, but I really liked how they portrayed him in this and how they played how powerful he is. So, oh, yeah. A lot of fanboys and fangirls squealed when he was revealed.
And I'm sure the fangirl squealed the loudest, considering the fact that he came out of the coffin shirtless.
Yes.
Oh,
I did
Jesus
show Yami
Christ.
that last night, and she was like, wolf whistle,
We need
basically.
Netflix.
No, I'm squeeing for a different reason.
What's up?
We're getting an Assassin's Creed animated series.
Oh, that's right.
From the same guys.
They haven't come right out and said that it's a Netflix show, but considering that it's the same people and the Castlevania one is going to be on Netflix, and we're getting the Witcher's one, and that's supposed to be on Netflix, last I heard. So chances are this is probably going to be a Netflix exclusive.
And Netflix does a lot of good job with a lot of their shows.
And they haven't yet said what time period that this is going to be in, but it's using some of the older logo art.
Ooh, which
So
means...
we might, somebody talking about probably stuff back when Desmond was probably still alive.
And when, with Origin coming out, it could be anywhere.
Honestly, I still want a Civil War one.
Or it could be a completely different time period that we've never had yet.
Huh.
They have
Fingers
so many
crossed.
options that they can do with this since it's animated.
Fingers crossed for Civil War.
Now, there is one concern that I do have regarding the fact that it is the same team doing the Dracula as well as the Assassin's Creed.
Right.
And that is the merging of genres when you use the same team. I noticed this when we had people like, say, M. Night Shyamalan working on the Avatar movie.
We don't speak of that movie.
I do speak of the movie, for if we do not acknowledge the mistakes that were made, we are only doomed to repeat them.
Fair enough.
He's not wrong.
And I would also like to point out that Tim Burton was the one behind the Wonka movie. With Johnny Depp.
Oh well.
That movie still sucks.
I find it uncomfortable. There's some cool stuff in it,
Yeah,
but...
it makes me very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Dude, you're weird.
So,
No.
it's a good
No.
story, but it needs an
I can point
understanding...
out a Willy Wonka movie that's way worse.
Yes. If I may just round out my point is, I would love to see this done right, but it has to be done right and to stay true to its genre. Horror in horror and Assassin's Creed in Assassin's Creed without the suck.
Well, you are sucking. It's a story about vampires, after all.
No, Assassin's Creed is not the story about the vampires.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Castlevania for a second there.
No!
What the heck?
I was saying...
Well, vampires sucking, come on, work with me.
Anyway,
Well, we need to keep the suck out of Assassin's Creed. If we've got vampires running around in Assassin's Creed, or like giant snakes... Wait,
Well, we've had one of those.
what, a vampire?
Kind of, yeah.
Ah.
Oh, good lord.
anyway, we've got another anime series in the form of Furikuri.
Yes!
Excuse me while I go throw up.
I am actually pretty excited because I actually sat down and watched the first season
Indeed.
and found it very enjoyable and wacky.
I've watched the first season.
And
All
it's
it does is annoy me.
It is not the
Beyond
easiest anime to
measure.
get
I've seen
into.
worse animes, but this is one I used to hate but grew to love, so...
it's a weird one.
Yeah,
It is very
absolutely.
weird, but that's the reason why I like it.
All it does is annoy the shit out of me. And it doesn't help the fact that Adult Swim played it endlessly.
Well,
So
a lot
I
of
was
people like
already
it.
annoyed. No, I was already annoyed with it after watching it once. And then they repeatedly played it over other things people wanted to see that were new.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird series.
Indeed, but it is coming to Toonami. It's going to be fun, so hopefully it will not entirely suck a big one.
We'll find out. Anyway,
Well, we haven't gotten out of the woods with Mario Odyssey yet.
yeah, last thing about that series is Super Mario Odyssey ditches the game over screen.
Yes, instead of
Thank God.
losing a conventional life, you instead lose 10 coins per death.
Wait, hold up, wait up, back up. So you're telling me that when Mario gets hit, he loses a bunch of coins instead of dying?
Yes, well,
That's what insurance is.
yes, and specifically, even if you don't have the coins, you will still restart as normal.
Oh my god, Mario threw his cap at Sonic. Sonic's been possessed!
Actually, Sonic, you still eventually die when you run out of rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's still going to do the life system a la... I'm trying to remember the game. A la Super Mario 64. The difference is now you don't have to worry about
actually
The
getting
stupid
home.
game over screen,
Yeah.
sitting through that, and then loading back in.
Correct.
My point still stands. This
they're
sounds
they're
very
trying to
Sega.
cut down on loading screens, is what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this could be a way to save memory or potentially optimize frame rate, which is kind of true that it does break the immersion out when you have to deal with, oh great, I died.
Yeah.
Well, and it takes, for certain games with loading screens, with game over screens, it takes forever to load back in. That's an extra time you gotta sit there and wait.
Correctamundo. So I'm slightly conflicted because of the fact
Yeah.
like this is one of the things you did in Mario games.
But on the other hand, you're like, this could streamline my gameplay,
Yeah, absolutely it does.
So, who knows?
The
I
last
think
thing.
some people are making a bigger thing about it.
Oh
than
yeah,
they should.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal, but it is interesting to see the evolution of a Mario game one bit at a time.
Yeah.
The last thing I have here is the
Crash Bandicoot.
is Crash Bandicoot, because apparently there is actually a reason for its phenomenal difficulty, even for people who remember playing the games back in the day.
And that being?
The graphics update, actually.
Really?
Yes. So apparently, when they updated the graphics, they also brought in inertia.
Inertia.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Uh-oh.
when you move forward, you have a certain amount of energy that continues to move forward with you. What do you think that does when you're trying to when you're running to an edge and you're trying to platform just right?
You do the Luigi.
You do the Luigi, you slip and slide, and shit does not go the way you want it to.
Shit
Huh.
goes down.
Yes.
You go down with the shit.
Yes. So that is the response to in the question, why am I dying so much? And so apparently everyone has memories of when they were when they were 5, 7, 9 years old playing that game.
And their muscle memory has betrayed them.
Yep.
Yes.
Which is
Because they
Absolutely.
couldn't really do inertia and stuff as easily back then. So now we're getting what we always wanted, and people aren't liking that.
Suck it up. They can suck it up.
Be careful what you wish for. You might just get what you wanted.
Yeah, some people are complaining that we should be getting a Earthworm Jim next.
I
Oh,
never liked.
God.
I never fucking liked
Yes.
Earthworm Jim.
I don't hate that, it just wasn't my thing.
I never played it. I have no opinions on the matter.
It's fine.
Me and Legend are still waiting for the remake of Cold Shadow to come into play.
Good lord.
That ain't happening.
I used to play that on Windows 95.
You're getting that in the next Kingdom Hearts, which, by the way,
Oh no, we're not, because until we get sorry, not Donald Duck, Maui Mallard kung fu flipping out with the bow staff, we are not getting Cold Shadow 2.
You know, that was actually my first introduction into martial arts
yes,
that wasn't
Shadow.
the Three Ninjas.
You know, that would be interesting, just as a Kickstarter idea, Cold Shadow 2, and they give it the Shaq Fu treatment.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
What's coming up on the channel, Zero?
more Shovel Knight next week. I might start uploading Danganronpa either next week
End of the month, probably.
or the end of the month, depending on how things are going. It's probably going to be either once. It's probably going to be a once a week thing for that series because it takes a while for us to record that. And until then, we'll just be doing what we normally do, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Interesting.
So,
Alright.
this is Death Zero.
This is Leo Force.
This is Akari.
This is Muzi.
And this is not Death Zero, Musi, Akari, or Leo Force signing out. I'm the mystery voice that you never knew the name for.
Legend.
All the Legend Hunters.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Have a possum day, everybody.
See ya.
Did you say a possum day?
Paw as in paw.
Oh my god, I hate you!
No, I'll smack him tomorrow.
Do it now!
Bye,
I
guys.
can't.
Damn it. Bye.
Goodbye. Adios.